I'm sitting in our Calgary apartment last week, drinking my coffee at 6 in the morning because I couldn't sleep, and my phone starts going off with notifications from my banking app. At first, I think it's a mistake or the app's glitching, but I open it and see charges piling up for $50,000 worth of stuff like designer clothes, expensive watches, first-class flights to Vancouver, and my heart stops because I know I didn't spend that money, and there's only one other person in this house who could have done it. My husband, Noah Bennett, who I've been with for 7 years and who I thought was my partner, but clearly I was wrong about him in every way. I'm a forensic accountant, so my job is to dig through financial records for companies here in Calgary looking for anything shady, like fraud or hidden transactions, and I'm good at what I do because I spot things others miss, but I never entus en here. I thought I'd have to turn those skills on my own life against my own husband, who's been acting normal while I'm working long hours to keep us stable, and he's drifting from one half-baked scheme to another, always promising some big breakthrough that never comes. I let it slide for years because I wanted to believe we were building something together and I loved him, or at least the version of him I thought was real. But that morning when I saw those charges, I realized he'd betrayed me in a way I couldn't ignore. I'm scrolling through the alerts, and it's not just a couple of charges, it's a full-on spending spree, like he lost his mind, booking flights to Vancouver, checking into a fancy hotel on Robson Street, buying suits, jewelry from stores I've never walked past, and I'm sitting there with my coffee going cold. Then my hands shaking because I'm so angry, but also because I'm putting it together, and I realize he must have waited until I was asleep the night before and snuck into my office to get my credit card details, because there's no other way he could have accessed that account. I feel stupid for not being more careful, but then I notice the card number, and I start to smile, because Noah didn't just steal from me. He used a dummy credit card that my firm sets up for fraud training, and every charge he makes gets flagged instantly, sent straight to the authorities, and he has no idea what kind of trouble he's in. I'm staring at my phone, and I want to scream or throw something because I'm so mad, but I don't, because I need to think clearly, so I grab my phone and call my lawyer, Rachel Collins, who I've known forever, and I tell her everything about the $50,000 in charges, the dummy card, how Noah thinks he's so smart sneaking around like this, and Rachel bursts out laughing because she can't believe how clueless he is. She says, "Hannah, he's handed himself to the police with every purchase," and I'm nodding because she's right. I'm still furious, but there's this tiny part of me that's relieved because he's not going to get away with this, and I'm not going to look dumb when it's all said and done. Rachel tells me to stay calm and let Noah keep spending because every charge is more evidence against him. And I agree, because I want him to feel like he's on top of the world right up until it all crashes down, and I spend the morning watching alerts come in one by one, seeing each new charge like it's a win for me because each one is proof of what he's done. I'm thinking about how I trusted him for 7 years, how he'd always have some charming excuse for everything, and I bought it every time, and now he's out there in Vancouver, living like a king on money he stole from me, and I'm here in our apartment figuring out how to make him pay. This isn't just about the money, it's about the trust he broke, the life he thought he could ruin. By the time I get off the phone with Rachel, I'm not shaking anymore, and I'm not close to tears because I'm done feeling hurt, and I know what I need to do. And I'm going to let Noah think he's pulled this off for a bit longer because every dollar he spends is tightening the noose around him. I'm thinking about how Rachel and I will work with the authorities. I know Agent Lucas Reed from fraud seminars, and I'm sure he'll take this case seriously, and I'm calm now because I've got a plan. I'm not the one who's going to lose in the end, and Noah's about to learn that betraying me was the biggest mistake he's ever made. After I hung up with Rachel, I'm sitting in our Calgary apartment, staring at my phone, watching fraud alerts roll in one after another, and every notification is a punch to the gut because Noah's out there in Vancouver spending $50,000 of what he thinks is my money on designer clothes, 5-star hotels, and I'm so mad I can barely think straight, but I'm starting to feel this weird sense of control because I know he's walking into a trap he can't see. I'm the one holding the strings. I decide not to confront him yet, because Rachel's right about letting him dig his own grave, and I want to see how far he's willing to take this betrayal before it all comes crashing down. I grab my laptop and start pulling up the fraud detection system we use at my firm, because as a forensic accountant, I have access to tools that track every transaction in real time, and I'm watching Noah's charges like it's a twisted reality show. There's an alert for a $2,000 dinner at a fancy Vancouver restaurant. Another for a $3,000 watch from a boutique on Robson Street. And I'm thinking about how he's probably sipping overpriced wine, acting like a big shot, and I'm here in Calgary working overtime to keep our life together. The anger keeps building, but I'm starting to feel this cold focus, because every charge is another piece of evidence, and I'm not going to let him slip away from this. I call Rachel again, because I need to know what's next, and she's talking to contacts at the Calgary Police Department, and she says, "Hannah, we've got a solid case building here, because the dummy card is linked to a federal fraud program. Every transaction Noah makes is flagged. Logged automatically." I'm nodding along because I know how this works from my job, and I'm thinking about how Noah has no idea his Vancouver shopping spree is being watched by people way above his pay grade, and Rachel says she's reaching out to Agent Lucas Reed, who I've met at fraud seminars. She thinks he'll take this case personally, because he loves nailing guys like Noah, who think they're smarter than everyone else. I'm still furious, but talking to Rachel makes me feel like I'm doing something real, and I start saving every alert to a folder on my laptop because I want everything ready when Lucas gets involved. I'm thinking about how Noah left a note on the kitchen counter a couple of days ago, saying he's taking time for himself and I should deal with it. I'm kicking myself for not seeing through his lies sooner because I trusted him for 7 years. Believed his charming stories about how we were a team, and now I'm looking at this note. It's like a slap in the face because he's not just stealing from me, he's laughing at me while he does it. I spend the next few days watching charges pile up, and it's surreal because Noah's not slowing down. There's a $5,000 charge for a hotel suite, another for a private car service, and I'm thinking about how he's living this fantasy life on a card that's going to ruin him. I'm starting to feel a strange calm because I know I'm not the one who's going to lose here, and I'm talking to Rachel every day. She says Lucas is pulling records, coordinating with Vancouver police, because some charges are big enough to trigger an interstate investigation. I'm thinking about how Noah's probably walking around Robson Street right now, with no clue his every move is being tracked. I'm at my office one afternoon, and Rachel calls. She's excited, because Lucas confirmed the fraud alerts are airtight. They've got enough to bring Noah in for questioning soon, and I'm sitting at my desk feeling relief. Anticipation, because I know we're getting close. I'm thinking about how Noah's been calling me every couple of days acting normal, and I've been playing along pretending I don't know what's going on, because I want him to feel safe right up until he realizes he's not. I'm remembering this one call, where he's telling me how great Vancouver is, how I should join him, and I'm nodding along saying, sure, maybe next time while looking at my laptop screen with all his charges listed out. I'm starting to feel more in control every day, and I'm not just waiting because I'm working with Rachel to ensure every piece of evidence is perfect. I'm even recording Noah's calls because I know he'll say something stupid eventually, and I'm right because one night he calls, brags about this new watch he bought, how it's worth more than my car, and I'm listening, smiling, because he's giving me everything I need. I'm thinking about how I used to love his confidence, but now I see it's just arrogance. I'm done feeling hurt because I'm too busy making sure he pays for what he's done. By the end of the week, I'm not even angry anymore because I'm so focused on what's coming, and Rachel calls to say Lucas is ready to move as soon as Noah gets back to Calgary. I'm thinking about how he's probably planning to walk through our apartment door like nothing happened. I'm imagining the look on his face when he realizes I know everything, and I'm not going to let him talk his way out of this, because I've spent 7 years believing his excuses. I'm done being played. I'm calm now because I know I've got this handled, and Noah's about to find out that stealing from me was the worst decision he's ever made. It's been a week since I saw those fraud alerts, and Noah's back in our Calgary apartment after his Vancouver spree. I'm sitting on the couch when he walks through the door, carrying a fancy leather duffel bag stuffed with designer logos. He's grinning like he's won the lottery. He looks at me and says, "Hannah, you should have seen Vancouver. It's next level." And I'm staring at him, thinking about how he spent $50,000 on a dummy credit card. I thinks he's gotten away with it. I'm so ready for this moment, because I've been planning it for days with Rachel. Lucas and I know how this will play out. I'm not letting him charm his way out of this one. He drops his bag on the floor, starts pulling out a shiny gold watch worth $3,000, holds it up like a trophy, and says, "I got this for a steal. You should be proud of me, and I can't help it." I start laughing because the irony is too much. He looks confused and says, "What's so funny?" I'm thinking about how he's been sneaking around stealing from me. Now he's acting like I'm supposed to applaud him, and I say, "Noah, you really have no idea what you've done." He frowns and says, "What are you talking about?" I'm smiling because I'm about to drop the bomb. I want to see his face when he realizes he's not as smart as he thinks. I lean forward and say, "Let's talk about that watch. Those flights to Vancouver. The $5,000 hotel suite. All the stuff you bought with my credit card." And his face changes, like someone flipped a switch. He's trying to play it cool, but I see panic in his eyes. He says, "Hannah, come on, you're always so uptight about money. It's not a big deal." I'm thinking about how he's been lying to me for years. I'm done playing nice, so I say, "Not a big deal, you stole $50,000 from me. I thought I wouldn't notice." He starts stammering and says, "I was going to pay you back. I just needed a break." I'm shaking my head because I know he's lying. I'm not falling for it anymore. I pull out my phone. I show him the fraud alerts because I've saved every one, and I say, "Noah, you didn't just steal from me. You used a dummy credit card from my firm's fraud program. Every charge you made went to the authorities." His face goes white. He's staring at me like he can't believe what he's hearing. I'm feeling this rush because I've been waiting for this moment all week. I say the police know everything. Agent Lucas Reed is building a case against you. Rachel's got all the evidence locked down. You're not talking your way out of this one. He's standing there looking like a kid caught stealing cookies, but this isn't cookies, it's my trust. My life, he tried to ruin. He starts pacing and says, "Hannah, you can't do this. We're married. You're supposed to have my back." I'm thinking about how he's been spending my money behind my back. Probably seeing that Megan Harper woman I've heard rumors about. I say funny, I thought husbands weren't supposed to steal from their wives. He gets this desperate look and says, "I didn't mean to hurt you. I just wanted to live a little." I'm done with his excuses because I've heard them all before, and I say you wanted to live a little by betraying me, thinking I'd let it go. He's got nothing to say because he knows I'm right. I'm standing there feeling stronger than ever because I'm finally calling him out. I tell him I've been recording his calls. I've got him bragging about that watch, all the stuff he bought, and I say that's all going to Lucas. The police. Noah's shaking his head, saying, "You're setting me up. This isn't fair." I'm thinking about how he set himself up by thinking he could outsmart me. I say, "Noah, you did this to yourself. I'm not going to feel sorry for you because you chose to lie. Steal. Now you're going to face the consequences." He's looking at me like he's never seen me before. I realize he never really knew me because if he did, he'd know I'm not someone you cross like this. I'm still angry, but a calm is settling in because I've said what I needed to. I know Rachel. Lucas are ready to move. I tell Noah he should call a lawyer because he's going to need one. He's standing there with his fancy duffel bag, his stupid watch. he says. Hannah, please, we can work this out. I'm thinking about how I spent 7 years trying to work things out with him. I'm done. So I say, there's nothing to work out. You made your choice. Now I'm making mine. I'm walking away from this because I deserve better. He's got nothing left to say because he knows it's over. By the time I'm done talking, I'm feeling a strange peace because I've taken back control. Noah's standing there looking smaller than I've ever seen him. I'm thinking about how I used to love his confidence, but now I see it's a mask for someone too weak to be honest. I'm not afraid anymore because I know I've got Rachel. Lucas. All the evidence on my side. I'm ready for whatever comes next because Noah's about to find out that stealing from me was the worst mistake he's ever made. I'm not the one who's going to pay for it. I'm sitting in our Calgary apartment the evening after confronting Noah. I'm buzzing from telling him about the dummy credit card. How the police know everything. He's been quiet all day, sulking around the apartment, pretending he's got a plan to get out of this. But I know he's got nothing. Because Rachel. Lucas have everything locked down. I'm waiting for the moment it all comes together, because I've been building this case for a week. I'm ready to see Noah face the consequences of stealing $50,000. Thinking he could walk away like it was nothing. I'm on the phone with Rachel going over final details. She's saying, Lucas, the Calgary police are ready to move tonight. I'm feeling anticipation. Relief, because I know it's almost over. I'm thinking about how Noah's been acting like he's in control even after I called him out. I'm wondering how he'll react when the police show up. I'm about to hang up with Rachel when I hear a knock at the door. My heart starts racing because I know this is it. I tell Rachel I'll call her back. Walk to the door, trying to keep my face neutral because I don't want Noah to suspect anything until it's too late. I open the door. There's Agent Lucas Reed with 2 uniformed officers. He looks at me and says, Good evening, Hannah, is Noah home? I'm nodding and say he's right inside. Come on in. I step aside to let them through. Noah's sitting on the couch scrolling through his phone. He looks up. His face freezes because he wasn't expecting this. I'm standing there watching him realize he's out of moves. Lucas walks over and says, Noah Bennett, you're under investigation for fraud. Unauthorized use of a financial account. We need you to come with us for questioning. Noah's eyes go wide. He's looking at me like I'm supposed to save him, but I'm standing there with my arms crossed, feeling quiet strength because I'm not the one in trouble here. Noah starts stammering and says, This is a mistake. You've got the wrong guy. He's looking at me and says, Hannah, tell them this is crazy, but I'm not saying anything because I've said everything I needed to last night. I'm thinking about how he stole from me. Lied to me. I thought I'd let it slide. I say, Noah, you did this to yourself. Maybe you should explain it to them. He's getting desperate now and says, Hannah, you can't let them do this. We're married. I'm thinking about how he threw our marriage away when he decided to steal $50,000. I say I thought husbands didn't steal from their wives. Guess we're both learning something today. He's glaring at me like I'm the one who betrayed him, but I'm done feeling guilty because he's the one who made this mess. The officers start reading Noah his rights. He's still trying to talk his way out of it, saying it was a misunderstanding. He didn't know the card was fake. I'm standing there thinking about how he bragged about that $3,000 watch, the $5,000 hotel suite. I know he's lying because I've got the recordings. The fraud alerts. Lucas looks at me, gives a small nod, like he knows we've got this. I'm feeling a weight lift off my shoulders because I've been carrying Noah's lies for 7 years. Now he's finally going to answer for them. They start leading Noah out the door. He's still yelling that this is a setup. I'm watching him go. I'm thinking about how he used to be the charming guy I fell in love with, but now I see him for who he is. I'm not sad or angry anymore because I'm free. I close the door behind them. It's like the apartment feels lighter because he's gone. I know this isn't the end, but it's the beginning of the end. I'm ready to move forward without him dragging me down. I call Rachel right after they leave. She's thrilled because Lucas told her they've got enough to charge Noah with multiple counts of fraud. Identity theft. She says, "Hannah, you played this perfectly." I'm thinking about how I spent all week tracking his charges, recording his calls. I'm proud of myself because I didn't let him ruin me. I'm thinking about how Noah's probably at the police station trying to spin a story about how this is my fault, but it won't work because we've got everything documented. I'm feeling calm because I know I'm not liable for a cent of that $50,000. Noah's the one who's going to pay. I'm talking to Rachel. She's saying Noah's facing serious consequences because the amount he stole is big enough for real charges. I'm thinking about how his fancy watch, designer clothes are going to be confiscated. His bank accounts are probably frozen. I'm not gloating because I'm relieved it's over. I'm thinking about how I used to feel like I needed Noah to make our life work, but now I see I was holding everything together. He was just dead weight. I'm starting to feel peace because I'm not carrying his lies anymore. I know I've won this round. Noah's about to learn you don't betray someone like me and walk away like nothing happened. I'm sitting here a few weeks after Noah got arrested. I'm processing everything, but feeling an incredible sense of freedom, because the divorce papers came through yesterday. I'm officially done with him. I'm thinking about how I spent 7 years believing in Noah, ignoring warning signs, but now I'm standing on my own. I'm stronger than I thought I could be. I'm ready to tell you how it wrapped up, because this isn't just about Noah getting what he deserved. It's about me taking back my life. Realizing I don't need him or his lies to be happy. I got a call from Rachel the day after the police took Noah. She said Lucas had him in questioning. Noah was trying to spin a story about how he didn't know the credit card was fake, how I'd given him permission to use it. But I wasn't worried, because we had all the evidence like the fraud alerts for $50,000. The recordings of him bragging about his $3,000 watch. Rachel said it was airtight. Noah didn't have a chance. I'm thinking about how he's realizing he's not charming his way out of this. I'm feeling quiet satisfaction, because I played this smart. I'm not the one paying for his mistakes. A couple of days later, Lucas called. Said, Noah took a plea deal to avoid jail time, but he's got to pay back every cent of the $50,000 he tried to steal. Do community service. His credit's ruined for years. I'm thinking about how he's lost everything he thought made him special, like his fancy clothes. Big talk. I'm not gloating because I'm relieved I'm not tied to him anymore. I'm thinking about how Megan Harper, that woman I suspected he was seeing, dropped him the second she heard about the charges. I'm not surprised because people like Noah only look good until the truth comes out. I'm going through the divorce process with Rachel. It's moving fast because Noah doesn't have a leg to stand on. I'm thinking about how I used to feel like I needed him to make our life work, but now I see I was holding us up. He was dragging me down. I'm signing these papers. It's like shedding a weight I didn't know I was carrying. I'm sitting in my Calgary apartment that feels like mine now because Noah's stuff is gone. I'm adding my own touches like new curtains. A painting I always wanted. I'm realizing I'm building a life just for me. It feels so good to know I don't have to compromise anymore. I'm talking to my friend Kayla one night. She's over with takeout. We're laughing about how Noah thought he could get away with stealing $50,000. She's saying, Hannah, you're a badass for handling this. I'm thinking about how I used to doubt myself, but now I know I'm stronger than I gave myself credit for. I'm telling her about how I took a solo trip to Banff last weekend, just because I could. I'm planning another to the coast, because I've always wanted to see the ocean. I'm realizing I'm making choices for myself now. It's like discovering who I am without Noah's shadow hanging over me. I'm getting updates about Noah every now and then because mutual friends can't help but talk. I hear he's moved back in with his parents, struggling to find work because his reputation's shot after the fraud charges. I'm thinking about how he used to act like he was untouchable, but now he's learning what it's like to face real consequences. I'm not feeling sorry for him because he chose to betray me. I'm done carrying his mistakes. I'm focusing on my own life because that's what matters now. I'm at my office one day. Rachel calls to say, the restitution is finalized. Noah's legally obligated to pay back the $50,000. I'm not liable for anything because the fraud program protected me. I'm thinking about how I was worried at the start that he'd get away with it, but now I know I had everything under control. I'm feeling pride because I didn't just survive this. I came out on top. I'm thanking Rachel for everything. She's saying, Hannah, you did this yourself. I'm realizing she's right, because I was the one who spotted the charges, built the case, stood up to Noah. I'm stronger for it. I'm sitting in my apartment one evening. I get an email from Noah. It's a long, rambling apology about how he messed up. Didn't mean to hurt me. I'm reading the first few lines. I just delete it because I don't need his excuses anymore. I'm thinking about how I used to want closure from him, but now I've found it in myself. I'm not angry or bitter because I've let go of all that. I'm focusing on what's ahead, like my job that's going great, my plans to travel, my friendships that feel stronger now, because I'm not hiding behind Noah's lies. I'm looking back on everything. I'm realizing Noah's betrayal was the push I needed to see my own strength. I'm grateful in a weird way, because it forced me to stop settling, start living for myself. I'm thinking about how I spent 7 years believing in a marriage that wasn't real, but now I'm free. I'm building a life that's mine. I'm not afraid anymore, because I know I can handle whatever comes next. I'm raising a glass to myself, because this isn't just the end of a chapter, it's the start of something better. I'm ready for it.